11 from Austin, Rock City 101.9 FM, and it's now time for the program Economic Trend. At that time, where we take you through business stories, both locally and internationally. Welcome to Economic Trend. My name is Chienye. We should know that time is free, but it's priceless, and you can't own time, but you can use it. You can't even keep it, but you can spend it. And once you have lost it, you can never get it back. Welcome once again to the program Economic Trend on Rock City 101.9 FM. It is the Monday edition. The very first report that I have staring me in the face here is on IRC. The Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, IRC, has accused the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, of frustrating the development of the over $1.5 billion Lekki Deep Seaport project. The Port Authority, according to the Commission, actualized this by refusing to pay $110.9 million equity share for the project in full. Lekki Deep Seaport is a tripartite project of the promoter, LPL, NPA, and the Lagos State Government. The equities in the seaport included 20% for the federal government through the NPA, 18.51% for Lagos State Government, and 61.85% for the lead promoter of the project, LPL. The Commission's Acting Director General, Engineer Chidi Izwa, the Lagos State Government has paid up its 18.5% equity, while NPA only paid $23 million out of the $110.9 million of its equity, which is 20%. Izua, addressing a news conference in Lagos, explains that the Lekki Deep Seaport project site is in compliance with Section 20 of the ICRC Act 2005, which empowers the Commission to monitor compliance and ensure efficient execution of all nationwide PPP projects. The General Manager Projects of Lekki Port Enterprise, Mr. Stephen Yukilon, says upon completion, the port will be one of the deepest in West Africa with 16.5-meter water depth and one of the most modern efficient ports in sub-Saharan Africa with capacity to berth larger vessels. Agriculture Minister Chief Audu Obe has called for tough action against the massive smuggling of rice and fertilizer from Benin Republic through Ogun and Lagos states into the country. Obe describes the rates of smuggling of the rice through the axis as alarming and has to stop. The minister made a call at a meeting of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative and Leadership of Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers of Nigeria at the Presidential Villa Abuja. Obe explains that tough action is now needed since diplomatic moves and memorandum of understanding, which was signed with Benin Republic, has failed to stop massive smuggling through the western parts of the country. The minister, who says that Nigeria will not allow the neighboring country to continue to survive through smuggling at the expense of Nigeria, explains that tough action will lead to the renegotiation of the MOU. The Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission (RMAFC) has blamed the presidency for the delay in reviewing the existing formula for sharing revenue to the three tiers of government from the Federation account is illegal. RMAFC Chairman Abba Gana made this known at an interactive session with members of an ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives. The committee is investigating the agency's mode of data collection process, maintenance, and usage for the review of the revenue sharing. The state and local governments, since the return of the country from military to democracy in 1999, had been advocating for the review of the revenue sharing formula, which allocates over 50% of the statutory revenue to the federal government. The committee says the existing revenue sharing formula is illegal and needs urgent review. But the Revenue Commission chairman says the agency is reviewing the sharing formula periodically and has been sending its recommendations to the presidency as required by the 1999 Constitution. According to him, it's the presidency to forward the agency's recommendations to the National Assembly for ratification. Dangote Business School of Bayero University, Kano, has been commissioned to develop entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial development in the country. The business school was established in 2015, currently offers postgraduate programs. Its doctoral degree program in business administration will commence soon making it the only school in Nigeria to offer doctoral degree program in business administration. The building complex, comprising lecture theatres, libraries, offices and cafeterias, among others, was unveiled by the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. Speaking at commissioning of the project, Alhaji Aliko Dangote says his goal for the business school is to make it a reference point when it comes to learning how to do business successfully in Nigeria and in Africa. The business school, according to him, will be training and preparing future African leaders in business who will understand how to develop and train others to become visionary businessmen. The Emir of Kano asked Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to complete the Center of Excellence project, which it had started in the book, saying the project, if completed, would complement DBS to achieving its set objectives. Standard Organization of Nigeria (SON) says that Nigerian products could compete favorably in the global market because they're certified in line with international standards. Director General and Chief Executive Officer Mr. Anthony Osita Aboloma makes the assertion at a forum tagged General Sensitization on Mobile Calibration Equipment, which was organized in Enugu by the agency in collaboration with Turaki Heritage Limited for manufacturers, industrialists, and other stakeholders within the Southeast Zone. Aboloma explains that most Nigerian products, particularly agricultural products, are quite natural yields from the highly organic soil of the country and will be acceptable worldwide once they're certified in accordance with international standards. He enjoins all manufacturers in the country, particularly those operating in the Southeast Zone, to embrace the mobile calibration services, which enhance the international standards of locally made products. He explains that calibration is a process in which SON compares readings of measuring instruments of industrialists as against a reference standard, noting that one of the advantages of calibration was to ensure accuracy level of a measuring instrument. The mobile calibration, according to him, is a vehicle with inbuilt laboratory which can move from one location to another in order to offer calibration services within the premises of industrialists and manufacturers, rather than the manufacturers coming to SON offices for calibration services. NNPC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), has estimated the number of fuel stations at the Ogun State's border communities with Benin Republic at 633. The corporation says the 633 fuel stations were contributing to the smuggling of petrol from the country into the neighboring countries. NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Maikanti Baru made this known during a visit along with NNPC management team to the Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service in Abuja. Baru explains that the fuel stations, which are located in the three local government areas, have a combined tank capacity of 40 million and 485,000 litres of petrol. He says that a total of 2,201 fuel stations with tank capacity for 144 million and 9,000 litres of petrol are located in border areas of the country in 16 states. Meanwhile, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says it is spending 774 million naira daily as a subsidy on petrol, which it is importing into the country. NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Maikanti Baru made this known during a visit along with NNPC management team to the Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service in Abuja. Baru explains that the subsidy is to address the differences between the landing cost of imported petrol and the pump price of 145 naira per litre of the product. The 774 million naira subsidy, according to the NNPC Group Managing Director, is based on the daily demand of 50 million litres of petrol by consumers in the country. He says the daily demand, which he blames largely on the smuggling of the petrol to neighboring countries, hit 80 million litres last December. The Nigeria's imported petrol, according to him, is being smuggled to Benin, Cameroon, Chad, Togo, and Ghana. It's 20 minutes to noon, and still the economic trend on Rock City 101.9 FM. And to this revealing one, an estimated 92 million subscribers are browsing on Nigeria's internet network as of September 2017. Executive Vice Chairman of the National Communication Commission (NCC), Professor Umar Garba, He made this known during the NCC Day at the ongoing Kaduna International Trade Fair. And during the period, Garba says 140 million subscribers were on the GSM network in the country. And he pleads with subscribers to be patient on the issue of quality service, such as reception, wrong billing, and deductions. The NCC chairman also dismisses the belief in certain quarters that the telecommunication masts and towers pose health hazards to the host communities. World Health Organization, according to him, has affirmed that there is no result of any of such hazards that has been established against telecommunication base stations. Traveling state to Kogi State. What's happening there? Governor Yaya Bello of Kogi State has defended the cattle colony proposed by the presidency, saying it will be beneficial to the economies of the state and the country. Bello, whose state is one of the 16 northern states that have allocated land for the project, accused those criticizing it as people with low intelligence. The governor, speaking at the Kogi State Agricultural Expo to mark his second year in office anniversary in Lokoja, says the proposed cattle colonies will increase meat production and the internally generated revenue of the states. He dismissed fear that the project is a ploy by Fulani to seize land from the host communities. Away from Kogi State, the Ogun-Osun River Basin Authority says it will invest massively in agricultural production to feed Ogun State and the southwest region. The agency's chairman, Shola Lawal, who made this known during the inauguration of the board of directors in Abeokuta, says they will also focus on water resources and tourism to drive the agricultural revolution and generate revenue. A committee, according to Lawal, will be inaugurated soon by the board to handle the implementation of the proposed agricultural revolution. He says that the Water Resources Minister had already given the board a mandate to implement a graduate farmer empowerment scheme to drive the mission of the agency to feed the southwest region. And more reports coming from Ogun State. Ogun State's government has asked the presidency to hand over to it the Agbara-Igbesa Road for upgrading and reconstruction. The road leads to a major Nigeria's industrial hub at Agbara in the Ajodo local government area of the state. Governor Ibikunle Amosu says his administration had written to the federal government requesting its readiness to take over the federal road. Amosu made this known while receiving management team of the Unilever Nigeria PLC, led by its managing director, Mr. Yor Nsako, at the governor's office, Okemoso, Abeokuta. The road, according to the governor, will be tolled after its reconstruction if the request of his administration is granted by the federal government. He asked industries located in the axis to cooperate with his administration to fix the road through the public-private partnership arrangement. The managing director of Unilever Nigeria expresses the company's willingness to support the state government to private partnership in fixing the Agbara Road. And back with another report on NNPC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says Nigeria has emerged as the world's largest importer of petrol. Also, Nigeria is the only member of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries (OPEC), importing refined petroleum products. NNPC Group Managing Director Dr. Maikanti Baru made this known at the 2018 Oloibiri Lecture Series in Abuja. As at now, Baru says that Nigeria is importing 1 million metric tons of petrol every month, and he regards the developments which he blames on the bad shape of local refineries as very shameful for a country that produces crude oil. Alright, with that very report from NNPC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, which has said Nigeria has emerged as the world's largest importer of petrol, we'll bring it under wraps on the Monday edition of the program Economic Trend on Rock City 101.9 FM. Another edition will be up on Friday with Onola Desayolu. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Chienye. Good morning.